Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. So, up and down my timeline, I've been seeing Dr. Boyce Watkins. So, when you see the same person or the same topic over and over again, you begin to wonder, okay, what in the world is going on? I have personally, when I first started on YouTube, I didn't first start making videos. I was just somebody who looked at everybody else's videos, and Dr. Boyce Watkins was one of the people that I used to look at. During the course of the years, I did take a course that he had, and it was pretty good. I only was able, though, to look at 1 day's worth of modules. When I went back to finish taking the course, for some reason, I couldn't get in. There was a lot of technical issues. I called, I sent emails, I got the runaround, and then after a couple weeks, I just called my credit card company and I disputed the charges, and that's how I got my money back. I never really, put it on Dr. Boyce Watkins, what happened, because, sometimes technical issues do occur. Sometimes there are bottlenecks in different organizations. And, since he's not, a big company, I knew that, for smaller companies, it's going to take them a little bit longer to work out whatever kinks that they have, right? So I let it go. Fast forward, I joined a group, private Facebook group, that dealt with getting our financial houses together in order. And there were other women who also expressed to me that they, and I'm going to say allegedly, had some issue with the courses that they took from Dr. Boyce Watkins. It was not the same course that I took. It was something different. I don't believe theirs was technical issues. I believe it was something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, because this was, I believe, back in 2017 or so, right? And then in watching one video, I don't remember which one it was, but he had said something that I didn't like. So I unsubscribed and never really looked back, to be quite honest with you, until recently, right? So I said, all right, let me check out what's going on, what happened. And I was like, wow, okay, let me look at the original video to see what he really said. And I was appalled. To be quite honest, I was upset to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to need to call a family meeting. And none of the kids in my family, I do not want them to go to any school that he teaches. I do not believe in anything that he has to say. I was like, oh my God. And this man has a PhD. I even looked up, after listening to the rant, I even looked to make sure he had a PhD. And several sources say he most indeed has one. Because, when somebody has a PhD, let's be honest, it's not too many of us who are minorities who can say we have that. It's somewhat of an honor and a privilege to hold such a title, right? So, needless to say, regardless, I always said, all right, I give it to the man for putting in the work to get that. Anyway, getting back to the story at hand, like I said, I was still shocked because what he said definitely did not coincide with for someone who has a PhD in finance. I say this because I have a bachelor's in management information systems. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, yes, it is heavy technology, but you do have to take finance, accounting, economics, and then you also have to take calculus. So you do have to take some math classes. All right. It's not just technology. And from what I learned in getting that bachelor's, and then all of the other real estate courses that I've took after that, because I went to Baruch for real estate. I also went to NYU for the appraisal courses, and also Ivy Real Estate School. And what I learned is not what he was saying in his video. It actually, what he said contradicted what I learned. All right. So let me just go over some of the points that he said. There were some points I agreed with, but there were most of the points I definitely was not here for it. Okay. All right. So, also I want to say, let me just add this. A long time ago, back then, because I came on YouTube back in 2009, I remember Dr. Boyce Watkins saying that he really wasn't into real estate. And he was saying that the reason why he wasn't into it is because he knew how to choose stocks that can outperform real estate any day. So being that with stocks, there's less overhead and maintenance, his preference was to be there. So I was actually surprised that he was actually involved in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, that he actually invested in it, and that he encouraged other people to do the same. So that actually was news to me, and I was floored. Now, many of you know I already did a video way back about 2 years ago or more, telling you guys why I refused to invest in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Okay? So, of course, I took offense when he said that people who did not invest should not have an opinion. Well, I am an American citizen, and the last time I checked, my Constitution says that I have freedom of speech. So therefore, I have the right to have an opinion, and I have the right to express that opinion. So I disagree strongly with him saying that, of course, right? All right, let's move on to the next thing. He said at one point that he did not know if the Tulsa Real Estate Fund was the best investment. Okay, but what he could have done was read over the material, and that would have clearly, in my eyes, in my opinion, would have said whether or not this was the best investment or this wasn't the best investment. And in my eyes, I listed in the other video the many different reasons why this was not, well, it wasn't the best investment for me. And it appears that it definitely was not the best investment for a whole lot of people. Okay? So I'm really shocked that he's still sticking up for this particular fund. Now, to be on his side, or to, let's say agree with one of the things that he said it takes time to make a profit. That's true. With most crowd funds, it takes 3, 5, 7 years before you actually see a profit. But here's the thing though. If the fund is promising you 8% interest, the management fees are 5.5%, and then you have all these other fees that are more than 8%, how is it that you're making a profit? And that was one of the main reasons why I did not move forward with the fund. Okay, because the fees cannot be higher than the actual return. All right. So he lost me right there with that one. And as someone who has a PhD in finance, I just feel like he really should know better. All right. Next, he said that he did not read the SEC. Here's the thing. When you are in finance, being that he is a YouTube creator, I feel as though he should have read the SEC. Now, me personally, I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because the return on investment was lower than the fees. As a matter of fact, if you read the fine print, I believe it was in the fine print, it didn't even refer to people as investors, but it referred to people as donors. One of the people who commented on my video mentioned that. So, yeah, if you gotta be clear. And that was one of the problems with the fund too, was lack of clarity. You know, are we going to be investors or are we going to be donors? Because donors and investors are not the same people. They're two totally different people. But I guess when the fees are higher than the rate of return, you are a donor. Okay? Then the next thing that he said that bothered me is that he says he does not scrutinize every investment. How is it that you are in finance and you teach people finance and you don't scrutinize every investment? I don't understand how he has his job at all. You are supposed to scrutinize every single investment that you're interested in. Every single last one, especially in real estate, because when you don't, you can lose it all. And I'm not just talking about your money either. You can lose your money. You can lose the clothes off your back, literally. You can lose your home. You can lose your mind. You can lose your sanity. That whole, no. People, please scrutinize every single investment, especially a real estate investment. You really should also scrutinize every stock investment. You really should scrutinize every single person in your life that you decide that you're going to invest your time in. It is important that you know how much things cost. All right? How much it's going to cost to repair it. How much time will it take, estimate, to repair? And then after it's repaired, how much can you get for it when you sell it? Will there be a profit? How long does it take for that property to sit on the market before it's actually sold? If it can't be sold, is it rentable? Can you turn it into an Airbnb? Can you turn it into a safe house? What are your options? What can you do with that property? You need to know. What are the costs of materials, the labor? You know, do you have to go to court? Are there any title issues? Like, you need to ask questions. You need to know if you're dealing with a team, and most likely you will be, especially if it's a crowd fund. You want to know everybody that's on the team. You want to know what their experience is. How long have they been in real estate? How long have they been doing what they've been doing? And what are their results? What was their results like? And then if it's a crowd fund, you want to know what is their focus. You want to know what their criteria is. You want to have your own criteria. Like, for example, my criteria is 8% is too low for me. I want double digits. If it's not double digits, don't even put it in front of my face, because I'm going to be like, next. Okay? Don't do that. Have a criteria. All right? Now, the other thing he said, too, was that the SEC scrutinized Jay because of the fact that he was black, and because of his criminal background. I don't know. Might be. Racism is real, right? But the SEC will also flag you for other reasons too. Because if you have a fund that where the minimum is $500 or under $500, you're going to get flagged. You're going to get flagged. Okay? So, and that also puts a target on a person's back. Just so you know, right? So, basically, getting back to Boyce, I'm not sure, what his angle is, but I think it's very dangerous to encourage people to invest with their heart over their head. No. When it comes to investment, when it comes to business, you got to take your emotions out of it. Your emotions have to be put where? Back there. And everything should be logic. You got to look at the numbers. The numbers are so important. The numbers will tell you a whole bunch of things. The numbers, like I said, the numbers is why I didn't even look at the SEC myself, honestly, because of my criteria. 8% is too low for me. Now, because it was a fund that was supposed to build up Black communities, I have to admit I did look a little bit deeper. When I saw those fees, I said, no, this will not work for me. Because at that time, I was trying to grow, and I needed to grow my business. So I couldn't afford to be a donor at that time. At that time, I needed to be an investor. Okay. But there were a whole bunch of other things that I talk about in the other video about Tulsa that you can feel free to listen to, and you'll understand again why I did not move forward. But I'm really shocked, honestly, regarding what Boyce Watkins said. Ooh, it really just, it was really disturbing. Now, yes, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, it was epic in that this man was able to raise so much money, right? Definitely epic. However, things were not done properly. Things could have been done a whole lot better. And man, I'm almost speechless when it comes to his recommendation. I'm trying to put together how a man who has a PhD would defend this fund the way he has, and why he will not admit that there are some problems and that he made a mistake. So many of us would be okay, but it seems as though, I don't know if it's deflecting or being narcissistic. I'm not sure. I'm almost at a loss for words. I'm not sure what this is or how to explain it. I'm not sure if Jay, is, I mean, he is somewhat of a charming person, and did he charm Boyce Watkins so much to the point where instead of using logic, he decided to go down this other route? It baffles me. I'm really baffled by this whole situation and everything that I saw in that particular video. I have seen a few other videos after that particular one with Boyce, from people who say that they've worked with him and what have you. Again, I have never worked with him, so I really can't go there. I don't know. But I made this video because I really want you to see, some people, they're clever enough, manipulative enough, where someone who is supposed to be the most educated person, they can have it where they can either leave their education behind, or, some people say that they think that Boyce is in on it. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. But the number one rule, one of the number one rules, or maybe it should be number two, because the number one rule in real estate is really location, 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 right? But there needs to be a rule that says logic over your emotions. All right? Your head should be over your heart. Anatomically, that's how it is. Your head actually is over your heart. Your heart is not on top of your head. Okay? So that's how you should move through life, really. But definitely when it comes to business, especially the real estate business. All right? I needed to get that out there, because so many people follow Boyce, and I don't want I don't want those of you who still follow Boyce to follow that particular message, because that's a very dangerous message. Okay. And another thing that, I've learned, and hopefully everyone else learned, is that although someone has a PhD, you can't follow them. When it comes to an investment, you got to do the numbers yourself. You got to see if it makes sense to you first. Make sure it fits where you want to go. Don't just jump on the bandwagon just because you see someone else do it. I know he is of great influence and everything like that, but no, what he said is wrong. And I can't condone that. And I'm really against it, for real. I'm really against it. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully what I said will stick and will help you make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, teach one, reach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.